Hello, I'm Blade BowQuest, and this video is going to tell you about something, I don't know, it knows what it's doing. It's that one workshop or whatever. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. This is episode 7 of the Blade Edge, broken up into 5 parts. Yo, this is part 1 of 5 of episode 7 of the Blade Edge. Also, I'm wearing some Blade style merch. You want to go Blade style? You want to go? Well, now you can over at bladebowquest.com/merch. That's right. I've had somebody actually walk up to me at TwitchCon with Blade style leggings. Yep, she actually approached me at TwitchCon with the things. I've seen people take Blade style socks to the weddings because they're black. It worked. I don't know. If you want to go Blade style, well, we got the merch line for you. Buy something. I'm just trying to pay my electric bill here. All right. Enjoy this video. Hello. Hey, man.
How's it going?
Going well, dude. Good to talk to you again. How have you been the last couple weeks?
Going pretty well.
Nice.
Got a ton of Fruit of Nature saved up. Moved all
Heck
my
yeah.
farms and getting everything ready.
All right, good stuff. Glad to hear that. So today we're going to break down cooking pretty well, and I want to hit interval and opportunistic income a little bit harder, so we haven't gone over that a great deal. So any questions that you have arisen in the last couple weeks or something? I know I've given you quite a bit of time to kind of play in between our last session. Obviously I went to E3.
Nothing so far.
Okay, well that makes it easy, and we'll just continue where we left off. Alright, so your 10 farms, you moving up to Valley, right?
Yeah, just outside of Logia.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
And then I've
Okay.
actually been working on gathering across all characters. I've got 4 out of 17 that are at Artisan 1.
Well freaking
chipping
done.
around. Yep.
Hell yeah. That's quite the hustle, man. Yeah, you're really cranking that out. That's excellent. Alright, well, let's start today by opening up the Etheria, city. Just go ahead and click on that. We'll look at one of the workshops there. So, Port Etheria 1-4, it's the bottom left. 1-4 2F. And Ship Part Workshop.
Okay.
Alright. I don't know. Did we talk about underwater gathering much? I forget. What's your situation with that? Have you done it at all?
I did it for all of my boat parts, but I never really went back there after.
Right, okay. So I noticed that there's actually a pretty good opportunity on the market right now where these Etheria platings are selling for quite a bit of money, and there's a big shortage. So in terms of workshops, it's really hard to find a profitable workshop right now in the NA market. Things are pretty oversaturated. All of my standard ones are more or less there's not a lot of profit. People are selling them. It's pretty mundane. So the only way to get good profit from workshop situations is to kind of think outside the box and look for things that might be a little bit slower to produce, a little bit harder. So let's see. The standard black plating, not the glowing green or blue one, but if you just click on Etheria Sailboat Enhanced Black Plating, just do a control left click, that'll pop up a little menu and then we can look at the subcomponents there. Okay, so this particular item really stood out to me just in the last couple of days of looking at everything. So there have been 800 of these sold. There are none on the market, and right now there's a buy order for one for 158 million. So there's definitely a demand for these, and it's pretty freaking good profit. The biggest problem is you have to run the Etheria Sailboat daily, just because, you know how you've done it.
Right.
We've both done that a lot. But if we do the profit breakdown real quick, let me open up a calculator. Let's see. I'm gonna turn on screen sharing real quick. I don't think we've done that in our last session. It might make it a little easier. Alright, so you got my screen there?
Yep.
Cool. So this way you don't have to open up your own calculator. I like this. Alright, so right now we have a buy order for 158,000. We're gonna multiply that by our standard 0.845% because it's still the tax you're getting. Eventually you'll be able to save an extra percentage. Now, hard pillars, there's 66 on the market right now. In order to make one of these, you just have to mouse over it, shows the recipe. So it's only 10 logs and only 10 plywood hardeners, but it does only make one at a time. So typically, you wouldn't be making those and selling them for profit, which is why generally there's I mean, it's pretty easy to get. Plywood hardeners, 77,000 right now. So you can either buy hard pillows for 1 million each off the market, or you can make them. It wouldn't be a bottleneck at all. So we'll deduct 2 million from our cost there. Now, glue, obviously not the easiest thing to get. So you have to heat lobsters. Your average procs with decent processing would be 2.5. So generally it would take you 40 lobsters or something to get 100 glue. Well, glue is not the easiest thing to get on the market, but it is possible. So if we look at it, so 700,000 have been sold over the course of the years, and there's only 4,000 buy orders out there. So this would be something that we could put a buy order on this and just end up like waiting for it to fill. Let's see how many. Only 50 at a time. That's obnoxious. Oh god. Yeah, that's not going to go very well. But the idea would be setting up some kind of alt. Like, you have at least one alt with underwater fishing thing, right? Or is that your main?
With underwater what? Sorry.
Underwater, the underwater movement stuff. Or is that only your main?
Not too sure what that is.
Oh, just like a shark costume or fish costume to move faster?
Yeah, I've got it on my main. I don't have it on my alt.
Right, okay. Well, it'll be up to you, but it might actually be worth the $30 investment for one of your alts whenever we go over the rest of this profit. Oh, wait, that's the wrong thing. Furia plating, there it is. Cool. So the way this started was I was looking for different alternatives for Trace of Death, because right now it's not even profitable to make death elixirs, and it is worthwhile just to sell the Trace of Deaths on the market and stuff if you do occasionally get one. And then I started looking at all the other options and found it's pretty much this item alone that's keeping Trace of Death so expensive. So Trace of Death, we'll just kind of skip these two for a moment. It's 66,000. They aren't on the market, but it isn't too hard to get these things. So that would basically be deducting about 6.6 million if you just buy them over time. Palm plywood, not a big deal. You could process the things yourself, but if you just bought them straight off the market, it looks like they're 12,000 each. So 1,500 of those times 12,000 each, you're looking at ballpark 19 to 20 mil. We're just going to deduct 20 mil off the cost there. And then we're basically left at glue. So what this essentially means is every time you do 5 of these dailies to get 5 Etheria sailboat plans and you come across 100 glue, you have the potential to make over 100 million in profit.
Gotcha.
So that's really quite good. So when we break it down, so the glue standard cost, I mean, if you could buy them off the market, which you can put in buy orders of 50, getting a buy order of 100 filled, wouldn't be impossible. It's something you could definitely do within the month or something, and it wouldn't take any extra time to just put in a buy order, right? That's not too big of a deal. But you could get it, and that would deduct your cost by 20 mil or so. But what I think would be worthwhile is having an alt. This is what I've done for a really long time. Sitting around, let's see, which island is it? This one right here. So right next to this island, there's a billion of these giant pearl oysters. They're just all up in here. And so I basically just kept an alt here for months, mostly to make Margoria specials. So I was getting lobsters, and this would be the best way to get shrimp in the game. And it was fantastic, and I just turned them all into specials, and it worked really well. But if you just get 40 lobsters, which wouldn't take that crazy long, just swim through there, get one oyster rotation, swap to another channel, do whatever it is you're doing throughout the day, come back over, just keep one character kind of underwater. This would be an artisan gatherer or something once you get it there.
I'm following. I'm not sure if you cut off or not.
Wait, you can still hear me? Sorry, what did you say? Or what was the last thing you heard? Hello.
Try that again.
Is this better? Okay. So what was the last thing you heard?
So we were hovering over Al Naha Island.
Yeah, exactly.
Something about 40 lobsters.
Right. So 40 lobsters would basically give you 100 glue. So if you had an alt that just kind of stayed here, you could gather, I mean, there's quite a few oysters here. There's like 10 plus. I just kept an alt here for a long time. I made so many Margoria specials because it's one of the best way to get shrimp. So this can also go into some of the cooking that we'll talk about a little bit later. But just keeping an alt there and hopping to a couple different channels, not really having to move it much, you could probably ballpark get, I don't know, you know, the 40 lobsters in 15-20 minutes of just, okay, like, let me hit these things, let me swap to another channel, or do whatever else you're going to do throughout the day. Come back, keep your alt just underwater. You wouldn't even have to go up and down by swapping characters. It refills your underwater gauge and your stamina. So something like that could pretty easily get you 100 glue, and then every 100 glue you get, you're looking at 104 million profit, and then 84 million profit if you're having to buy the glue. So when it comes to opportunistic income, what I would recommend is actually putting a buy order on the glue right now for 50. It'll take you quite a while, like maybe a month or something like that to get, but eventually you're gonna get it. And then again, like I said, every 50 glue you get, or I'm sorry, every 100 glue you get, you're getting that extra 85 mil. So what's cool about that is I would go back to getting an alt set up in Etheria and just running that daily again. There's so few of these things that are being sold, and the demand is still really good. And it'll probably be good for a while, just the way the profit works. You can buy, let's see, you can buy the Trace of Death right off the market. You can buy the plywoods right off the market. You can get your own glue. You can buy the hard pillars, and it would just take 5 dailies. So all in all, I would estimate with the time it would take to get the 5 dailies and having an alt underwater, you're probably looking at over 100 million per hour with a system like this. But it would just mean that would probably happen like once a week or something like that. It would be a little bit odd. And then the rest of that money, like the extra lobsters or things like that, if you just can't get enough of these Etheria daily designs, you can go through cooking. But it would just be something to consider. I wouldn't say you have to spend 30 bucks to get an alt underwater, but this is one of the best workshops I've seen on the NA market right now. And 100 million an hour for extra effort is really not bad. That's just one of those things that you kind of like weave into your standard systems, and it just overall gives you a really good income system to tack onto everything else for life skilling.
Makes sense.
All right, so that was nice and complicated, but worth going over. This is why there's so much profit in it, because not a lot of people would take all those steps. And then, yeah, just looking at it on the market, obviously you'd sell it unenhanced. I can see 803 have sold, and then buy order for 158. So I think you could easily maybe tack on just making one of those and selling one a week. Alrighty, so that was the workshop deal, with a brief touch on opportunistic income based off of buying those glue, and then obviously integral as they get produced, and then with that daily quest. One of the things that I've done to manage that is just the simple transport of alt system. So you transport one character out there. It takes an hour for the character to get there, but you can just play on your other characters meanwhile. Do the quest, and then if you need it somewhere else in the game, you can just transport it back. And that's something that you could actually just keep up daily if you always had to use your characters. For me, I just leave them there, and it works really well.